Okay, RC groups, this is Tangerang doing a show and tell for the COX, legendary COX Lazy Bee. I believe this model was released as a .049 gas motor power plant drivetrain back in the 60s, I believe. The company is COX, and I think now has been bought out by Great Plains, but that was the original logo. And I figured I'd do a video documentary regarding the setup for the electrical brushless conversion. For those of you who plan or have a kit and have the desire to build her up for modern electronics. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with sharing with everyone the components that I have to build her up. Okay, so I used a this is a 9x7 APC prop. All right, and it's got a Dubro spinner, 9x7 APC. The motor you see here is from the Park Zone Wildcat F4F, the stock motor, which is I think 970 kV, I believe. You can check. You might want to check that out, but that's the stock Park Zone motor. And I used some metal spar supports, which I screwed on from the firewall that came with the Lazy Bee. That red firewall, you guys will see if you take it apart. There's going to be a red firewall. I had 4 of these metal mounts, and also on the bottom here you can see screw there, and also you can see it like that. So that's pretty much how I mounted it out. It protrudes out, and I mounted it to the X mount that came with the motor. And this cylindrical lead weight here was actually supplied with the Lazy Bee to have a forward nose down CG bias. I took it out and I used it as a reference CG at the absolute forwardness of the location of the vessel to help keep it as much nose heavy as possible. And I'll go in also with the type of battery I have. I'm using the 3-cell 2200 milliamp hour to I can fit up to a 2700 milliamp hour battery pack in the compartment. I'll show you how it goes in, but yeah. So here we go. These wheels actually, they barely weigh anything, so it's negligible weight. So just a quick inspection in here of the compartment. I got my speed control tucked in nice and hardy right around here. It's inside, so it gets ample cooling through the airflow going through this channel. And I've got my receiver velcroed here. It really doesn't matter. The receiver, that orange 3-axis gyro, all that has negligible weight. The servos I used, the elevator, and then the aileron / rudder. I used the Walkera standard analog servos. The reason being is they have really high torque, and they're meant to take a lot of punishment because they were originally used for helicopters, and the blades, they're meant to take the blade impact. So I figured on the Lazy Bee they would do the job quite well, effortlessly. And I've also got if you see down inside, you see those drums? They're actually a network of 4,000 microfarad capacitors, as well as a voltage regulator, which is a 3 amp UBEC from Hobby King, and I use that with the 2S mini JST male connector sourced by a 2S 800 milliamp hour to 1300 milliamp hour pack. Plug it in there, and then also the main supply that goes to the motor is just your regular T connector that goes to the 3-cell that powers the motor. So the BEC powers the receiver, goes into a spare port. It powers the servos, it powers the gyro, it powers these LEDs. Okay, these LEDs. So, I don't know. You don't have to put LEDs on yours. I just happen to have LEDs on mine, and I chose to use them. So I'm going to go ahead and walk over here and grab a battery and show you guys how I have my setup placement of the batteries. Okay, so I've got myself a China Line Hobby 2700 milliamp hour 3-cell. This just won't focus, but you can take my word for it. It's a 2700 milliamp hour 3-cell with a T connector, and I've got a 800 milliamp hour 2-cell, which is going to power the voltage regulator, the BEC, the external BEC I showed you earlier via the mini JST. So I'm going to put that in first, and I'll show you how I put it in and where I put it in. You can see this little channel here. There's actually 2 channels. There's one that's kind of tucked in further in, and there's a main one here. So I'm going to put the 2-cell, okay, this is for proper CG, I'm going to put that in here. It's going to be tucked in here, and I'm going to put my phone down first and explain to you while I get the wires out of the way and proper it, and then I'll show you how I positioned it. So get that tucked in. So you'll see the little 2-cell battery tucked in there. I'm holding the wires down, and then this main channel here is where I'll put the 2700 milliamp hour 3-cell pack. So I'm going to do that right now. And this is what you have at the end. You can't see the 2-cell pack anymore because it's tucked forward of this battery. And you got the 2700 vertically shoved in here. Now it's nice and flush on the surface, so the wing can actually relax on top of that. So you can see the wing will have no trouble fitting on. Okay? And basically what you have is put the wing on, and you will have no CG issues. That's basically what you're looking at. So take this message for what you will, and some of you may have a better setup, or you can use this as a guideline to as a point of reference for your build. And should you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, leave them below or send me a PM, and I'll be sure to get back to you and address those needs. Alright guys, good luck, and I hope you enjoy the video. Tangerang, signing off.